from 6 to 12 August, and he will be given until 1,400 meters. So the tracking is correct. There is no loss at the end or in the beginning. We did it all the way up, all the way down, all the way left, all the way right. So for tracking, very comfortable. A little bit stiff in the beginning, but it's getting better and better using it, and the stiffness is regular. So for the zoom we give 2.5 pluses to. The parallax focus ring is very well from stiffness, not too loose. You don't have the numbers on it. That doesn't apply anyway, they're never correct. You just have the starting point and the finishing point. PRS shooters shoot the parallax on this little point. Target shooters, long distance target shooters, prefer to a PRS and an extended long range scope together in one piece. Is not exceptional, but is a very good thing to know. The glass, 100% clear, a lot of contrast, a lot of detail, and in the color range of Steiner Nightforce, a little bit blue light rather than the warm Razor and the warm Schmidt & Bender glass. 6 or 7 field and PRS challenges in Sweden and Denmark showed us that the reticle was practical for a lot of types of shooting, not just target shooting or PRS shooting. Actually, PRS reticles are without any markations above the horizontal lines. The coating is alright, but it's not actually a coating like the Razors. Those have actually a very strong coating. This is, I won't say a standard coating, but it's not really a rough tactical coating. So for the coating it's, well, the average 1.5 on 3. Ergonomics are more than alright. They manipulate really everything in an easy way. Putting your hand like this, when you're shooting right-handed, you can move on, manipulate everything with ease. Illumination is until 11 points, and each time is 0. So you can stay on the illumination that you put it. As you can see, we mounted the S8 on a Airtac Picatinny rail, actually the Remington 700 tactical rail that you can put on your 700 model, and we mounted it with the 2 Contessa 40mm rings that are in the box with the S8, and you can see that with a straight Picatinny rail, close mount possible, with a spur in 40mm and 20 MOA elevation. You can add some clicks, but there we come at a certain point that have a problem. Now waiting for the second production run in September, October. There will be some other changes in the electrical, and the issue of the tube pressure in the first 4 centimeters will be solved. Like many manufacturers, scope manufacturers too, the first production run can come up with some problems, with some issues. It's the way that the manufacturers react to it and solve it that determines actually if they're good manufacturers, yes or no. So Cytron, of course, it's a rather long procedure because you have to prove that it's structural. So they have to test nearly every scope that they can get on from clients, from distributors, from their own stock. They have to test it actually Cytron in the US and in the factory in Japan. So before that was, all those tests were done, and the conclusion was generally that it was a structural issue. It took us 2 months, 2 months and a half. So thank you very much for the end users that took the time to use the product in sometimes a rather MacGyver-like mount. So if you use the Spür mount, the rings come really close together until here. Here's one and here's the other one. So the Spür mount pushes when you put the right pressure on the screws from the mount. It's about 18 pounds per inch. The side focus is getting stiff. And if you don't know what is happening and you keep on using it, it could be blocked too. So the first 100 production runs are all coming back in and will be exchanged for the second production run. That problem will be solved. It's of course a pity that we cannot commercialize this fantastic scope now for, let's say, 6-7 months. On the other hand, we must say that Tobias, the Swedish shooter, is doing a wonderful thing, going to the World Championship with a scope he likes so much. He doesn't give that he had to do some MacGyver mounting, meaning putting the pressure on the rear tube and relieving the pressure on the front tube so that the focus ring could move smoothly, and then finally gluing, Loctiting the screws from the front rings. It's okay, he did until now he did 5 or 6 field matches with it, Swedish field matches, so very rough shooting conditions, and it held until now. Thank you. The S8 will come, the second production run will, we hope so, will be here in September, October, and October, November. The S6 is coming out. So this is a 5-40 with a 40mm tube, and the S6 is a 5-30 with a 34mm tube. This scope we would like to sell in Europe in the price range 2,500 to 2,600, and the 5-30 we would like to sell in the price range just under 2,000 euros. This one we would rather call the extended long range one, and the 5-30 the PRS model with 3 or 4 different reticles. The other model 2 different reticles, so we're talking about 5 to 8 models in 2 magnifications and in 2 tube sizes.